This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from PeopleForward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I am super excited to have my dear friend, Rana DeBoer, co-founder of Volt Strategy, launch a new series on the podcast called Elevate Your Leadership. In this series, Rana offers a unique blend of behavioral science and business strategy to help leaders take their cultures to the next level and build future-ready organizations. Take a listen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Elevate Your Leadership podcast, a show that truly puts you in the driver's seat of your leadership. And that means your leadership influence, impact, energy, and last but not least, joy. Because we need to have some fun in our leadership. We need to have some fun at work. I am your host, Rana DeBoer, a former chief culture officer turned executive and organizational coach with literally decades of experience facilitating human and organizational performance. The love of my work, without question, is making peak performances possible. Because here's what I believe. I believe that turning potential into performance is the largest gap we have in the workplace. So I've lived the role of college coach to enterprise leader in the field of people and culture for both the private and public arenas. And at the corner of every success has been this cultivation of well-being and leadership to help you do and become your best. And at the end of the day, this is all about powering up the potential in people, because it is the people that power your business. And that's exactly what we are going to jam on today. And specifically you, how to renew that energy in your leadership as well as your team through what I call the disciplines of renewal. So if you are ready to elevate your leadership, let's jump in. So what do we know? We know that leadership isn't just about driving results and inspiring teams. While that is super important, it is also about sustainability, and specifically human sustainability. Without intentional renewal of our human energy, we risk burnout, fatigue, and ultimately, the sad part is we start to lose our purpose and our passion a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? When that energy is low, and it's been that way for a while. We've all been there. We've all felt that before. So we start to lose our joy and our effectiveness as a leader. So today we are going to explore what renewal is, why I say to you it's critically essential. It's actually an imperative for both leaders and teams. And I want to share 5 what I call power disciplines of renewal that every leader and every team can be practicing, should be practicing. I hate to use the word should, but I'm going to have to say that today. So what is renewal? Honestly, what is it? You are going to love this definition. Maybe I'm just a definition geek, but if you've been following along on my previous podcast episodes, you know that I love the power of definitions. Puts us all on the same page. So renewal is that ongoing process of restoring and revitalizing your energy, your mindset, and this is the kicker, the capacity, your capacity to lead. At the end of the day, this is all about strategic self-care, not just personally, but also for our teams. So think about it. Sit with me on this for a minute. You wouldn't expect a high-performing athlete to compete without rest, without recovery, without a well-thought-out training schedule, and without adequate levels of that social, and emotional support. Yet, as leaders, we often push ourselves and we often push our teams beyond their capacity without what I call structured renewal. So this is where we're going wrong. This is where many of us maybe have it right. And I would say the majority of us are still working to get this right. That we have to place moments of renewal directly into the schedule. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Think about it. How do athletes train for peak performances? They are not all out all day, every day. They have very specific training schedules that gradually increase load, gradually increase stress, gradually increase intensity. Once they hit that level of performance that they're looking for and they want to sustain, they back off, recover, push again, back off, recover, push again. Dude, we want to think about and start looking at this the same way in our workplaces. Man, if I tell you, if all the years of athletic coaching hasn't taught me that, it is definitely the only way forward, especially with today's intense and demanding world and life. If we don't do this, if we don't figure out how to kind of master these disciplines of renewal, burnout is around the corner. And remember, burnout is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion. So it's a little bit of a broken spirit in there too, right? Our creativity goes down the tube, decision making suffers, and we just don't get the rest and reflection that we need to make those good decisions. We're just not engaged enough personally or with our team. And definitely our resilience capacity. Love that term. If you aren't using that or thinking about it, let's go. That is an absolute critical in today's workplace. That reduced resilience capacity just really challenges how we can bounce back, tackle again, how we get up. We see it as an opportunity, lean into it and go. We lose that, right? And like I said earlier, there are so many disciplines of renewal. We could talk for days, weeks, years on this topic. And here we are with just about 15, 20 minutes of just power content, power tips, power ideas to keep you going at your best and to help you elevate your leadership impact. That's the name of the game. Discipline number 1. Are you ready? Do you have a pen and paper out? Are you ready to take some notes? You got to. Today's session is about taking a few notes, doing a little reflection, and then jumping out to my LinkedIn page or to my website and grabbing the leader guide. So discipline number 1 is the discipline of reflection. Because what do we know? Great leadership requires great awareness. Reflection is about taking those intentional pauses to say, where am I? What's working? And what needs to change? So how do we practice this? Because it's great to talk about it, but we've got to put it into practice because leadership is a practice. First and foremost, you've got to find a way to put some weekly reflection time into your schedule. And this is the place for you to really say, man, what were my wins this week? Where did I crush it? And what are some great lessons that I learned? So that journal just gives you the opportunity to get pen to paper to process through key challenges and great insights. And the 3-question method, if you have not used this before for yourself or with your teams, game on. It's really effective and so simple. So again, what went well, what did not, and what will I do differently? It's so simple, but so powerful. So we as leaders need to absolutely harness the power of reflection and a little bit of solitude. You've got to have that. It's where the mental processing occurs. So discipline 1 down. Ready? Discipline 2, the discipline of rest. Here's the deal. Rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And I can only hear many of you like giving a big breath or a big sigh and saying, no kidding, Rana, I know that, but how do I make it happen? Hence the term discipline, my friends. Practice and discipline. Here's the thing though, let's take this rest and move it a little bit further for ourselves. Leaders need both active and passive rest to maintain your energy and also your clarity, right? So how do you practice it? Of course, you need great sleep. I'm not going to go too far on this except to say, get your sleep hygiene down, get your pre-slumber routine in order and do it deliberately, intentionally, and very, very disciplined. Sleep is so critically important. Another great tip on discipline of rest is those micro breaks. And if you've been following along on the podcast in previous episodes, you've heard me talk about how important it is just to step away for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, even 30 seconds, because it's not about the length of the break that's important. It's about your ability to do what we call a whole body escape, that you are actually able to fully disconnect and step away from the work. So again, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 30 minutes, don't care. Get your micro breaks in. They're essential and critical to be at peak performance as a leader. If you haven't, this is a big one here under break, is look up Dr. Sandra Dalton and find her TEDx talk from 2019. I think the title of it was The Real Reason Why We're Tired and then What to Do About It. It's brilliant. It will bring many, many good perspectives to you in your leadership. But she goes through, we need mental rest, which is giving yourself the opportunity to just stop thinking, stop processing, hence the micro break, right? Spiritual, which is, are you consistently connecting with that higher purpose and that bigger energy? Got to do that. Spiritual rest is essential. Emotional might be something as simple as creating a little bit of distance from some of those emotionally intense people, situations. Sometimes we have to put those boundaries up, and that's okay. Social, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, we all need social connection. So as you think about social rest, you may say to yourself, am I more introverted? Or have I been on the stage really networking, socializing, and presenting a lot? And what I need is some rest from people, right? Or maybe you're someone who is actually energized by others and you're not getting enough of that networking or stage time, if you will, with friends, family, or even at work. So it can work both ways. Love these last couple. You're going to love them. What about our sensory rest? We are constantly bombarded. Think about all of your senses. Again, solitude, that walk in nature, no headphones, no social media, just listening to the birds chirp and the wind go through the air. Just nice, quiet peace away from all the senses and creativity. This isn't about being like Picasso or some amazing artist. It's just, are you getting some recreational play in? Do you still have time or make time for your hobbies? And then, of course, physical. While we can come home exhausted, you all know that a good walk with the dog or a best friend or the neighbor, or get into your hot yoga class or whatever your fitness jam is, that physical activity is something that actually is rest. It completely renews and revives you, mind, body, and spirit. So enough on that discipline of rest. That one I had to spend a few more minutes on. That's so critical. So which one of those are you missing? Which one are you going to put into more practice? Discipline number 3, we are moving right down this list of 5, is the discipline of growth. And what do we know? If you're not growing, you're dying. Well, maybe not dying, but you're definitely stagnating. So personal and professional growth, oh my gosh, that fuels some innovation. That that fuels some motivation. So how do we practice it? It's so simple. Are you getting in some daily or weekly learning time? That reading, that listening to podcasts, attending a webinar, jumping in on a workshop. You got to have a little every day, just a little bit every week for sure. At minimum, you've got to have a little learning zone. You got to place that in your calendar. And hey, who doesn't love to habit stack? If we can go for a run and listen to a podcast, beautiful. Just make sure part of that run has a little solitude and a little quietness in it. Discipline of growth also includes, where are your mentors and your peers? Those people who challenge and inspire you. Never had a mentor? Find one. Just ask somebody. Ask someone or a colleague around you, have you ever had a mentor and how did you get started? Where's the program and where to go? Hell, you need a mentor? Call me. Love to be your mentor. And of course, make sure that you are setting some good focus in terms of development goals. I love a good 90-day development goal. There's just something about 90 days, right? It's far enough away you can get it done. That's not too close that it stresses you out. Oh, it's just perfect. 90 days. That gives you 4 big development goals a year. Ready, set, go. Let's do it. All right, moving on. Discipline number 4 is the discipline of connection. Leadership is not a solo journey. Let me just say that again. Leadership is not a solo journey. Connection fuels us. It also builds some incredible team resilience. So how do you practice it? Hey, number 1, make sure, leader, you are getting meaningful check-ins with every single direct report. And not just for tasks, right? But for real work-life conversations. If you need help with that or need some tips, get to the leader guide. That's going to have a nice little how-to in there. Make sure you've got good relationships outside of work. And at this point, you're probably saying, these are all things I know. I know you know. But are you practicing them? Are these things in motion for you? Got to have a plan. Got to have a development plan every 90 days and maybe investing back into or finding more personal relationships outside of work is one of them. And I'm going to say it. Get off your social media just a little bit. Get off of there. Get into the coffee shop. Go for lunch. Go to the bar. I don't know. Whatever it is. Go for a walk. Find a friend. Get more social connection time with some great conversations with some of those people that you appreciate, you admire, and you love. Yeah. Discipline 5, the discipline of purpose alignment. And we have talked so much about this the last few years. And I just want to stand on top of the building with a megaphone and just scream like, finally, we're talking about this. This has been at the core of my coaching practice for decades. It's the core of athletic performance. Who are you? What is your character? Why do you exist? What are your values? What makes your heart sing? These are things. So if you haven't done the exercise of your leadership why do you lead? Do it. If you need some tips, get into the leader guide. Get a hold of me. I'd love to help you. That's my favorite coaching, purpose-driven leader. 3 sessions, you'll be flying, soaring, lots of energy. Make sure each week when you're doing that reflective journal and you're thinking about your development, that you're able to connect at least 1 or 2 things that you did during the week in your leadership that absolutely connects to your leadership why or your higher purpose. If you're finding trouble with that, no worries. It's absolutely something you can fix and easy to work on. Again, jump into the leader guide. You're going to find a couple great tips there. All right, let's wrap this baby up. Renewal is not a destination. It's a journey. It is a leadership discipline. I hope that you've grabbed that today. So by integrating some reflection, some rest, some growth, some connection, and some purpose alignment, on that consistent basis. That's the key word, right? Leadership is about consistency. So we got to do it with good consistency so we see good results. I can just pretty much money back guarantee. You're going to find a little more energy, a little more zip, and a little more focus to be more impactful in that way that you want to be and need to be in your leadership. And what I hope that you got from today is this isn't hard. They're very doable, but they require intentionality and discipline to get them done. So I challenge you to pick one of the disciplines we talked about today, one of the little tips we talked about today. Which one will it be? Which one is it? I want to know. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear. Look for my social media post on this particular episode with a couple more pearls of wisdom in it. And don't forget to download your Peak Leader Guide while you're there, right? So thank you so much for tuning in to Elevate Your Leadership and taking the time to invest in you. If this episode inspired you, please like and share. I love that and appreciate that so much. So take care of yourself, friends, and keep reading to your peak, which is that capital PEAK, purpose-driven, energy-fueled, self-aware, and knowledge-hungry leadership.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to PeopleForwardNetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.